Greg Olson was one of the additions that were made before free agency officially starts, but free agency is starting soon. It's going to start before the draft. A lot of teams need a lot of players, need a lot of positions filled, and we came up with a list of 3 people that we think can go to a team and change the dynamic of that team. So, Riv, I want to start with you. What players?
You want to go 1-1-1 and then just, or you want to go all
No, we can go 1-1-1.
Yeah.
Okay. Drum roll, please. My first selection is.
Why should this be something dumb?
You are such a hater, and you have a Jets hat on, so you can't say anything. Anyways, my first selection is
to the Eagles.
You're so biased. You think I was gonna say the Eagles? No. If AJ Green is healthy, I think he would change the dynamic if he goes to Buffalo. I think Josh Allen, with the way he's a big arm QB. He likes to throw it deep. I think AJ Green could give him that guy on the sideline that can go down there and catch the big deep balls.
That's a misconception, though.
Pause. Wow, that was so homo.
Josh Allen cannot throw the deep ball. He's not accurate at all.
I didn't say. Listen. He's a 24.
He overthrows by like 15 yards. I swear. Whenever I see him, he overthrows crazy.
Fair, I've seen Andy Dalton for the bulk of his career. He has overthrown AJ Green a lot. He could still go up and get it. And Josh Allen is going through a whole offseason of getting better. So at 24 years old, I think he can still work on his mechanics to become a little accurate. And if he can get that guy that can go out there and catch those deep passes, and he could just be a little bit accurate, not throw it 15 yards ahead of him, maybe about 4 or 5. AJ can go get that if he's healthy.
I think that the player I have is a tight end, and I have him going to the Patriots, a tight end that was recently released by the Redskins. I have Jordan Reed.
I barely played? That's funny. That's hilarious.
I have Jordan Reed because I think that he's still one of the better tight ends in the NFL.
When he plays.
Definitely.
When's the last time he played?
He's an injury-prone tight end, but if he can stay healthy and the Patriots can add him along and get a number 1 wide receiver like a Stephon Diggs, then you have Stephon, Edelman, Jordan Reed, and I think you're back in Super Bowl contention with that team.
Bro going to get a concussion and be out for the season. And I feel so bad when it happens to him.
I mean, I think he can stay healthy. Part of the reason why you also have to take into the consideration that Washington doesn't have the best support system, the best medical staff in that organization. I think the Patriots are a top-notch organization.
Did you see his concussion last year?
No, I didn't.
It was actually really bad. Like they violated it. It was OD. It was OD. I see why he was out for the season. When last time Jordan Reed played 5 games in a season?
Sheesh.
Yo, he gets hurt. He's tough. He's really good.
He is a really good tight end.
But he just gets hurt.
I think it's worth the risk, though, because when you have players like that, they usually don't demand too much money.
Yeah, so low value, high bargain type of thing.
The Patriots could get him for cheap, and he could be really productive for them.
What about you, my boy J-Dog?
All right, so I'm gonna stay in Philly. I'm gonna stay with just a different receiver this time. I say AJ Green to Philly. And this is just gonna be the same reason. Philly doesn't have any wideouts. AJ Green, if he can stay healthy, because he's been a little banged up last two seasons. Yeah. If he can stay healthy, again, I think AJ Green would be a phenomenal fit for the Eagles. You'd give Carson Wentz someone to throw the ball to. So, I would say AJ Green to Philly would be a good move.
You shake your head a lot. You're such a hater. It's ridiculous.
Because really, honestly, it's just who cares about the Eagles?
When last time the Jets made the playoffs?
2010.
No. Answer the question
2010.
first. 2010. No, JC, you don't answer the question. Joel, when last time they made the playoffs?
2010.
Oh, okay. What year is it?
When's the next time they're gonna make the playoffs?
Hopefully next year.
What year is this?
It's 2020.
So you mean to tell me in a decade you have not seen playoff football?
We should have made the playoffs.
We went 10-6 one year.
I don't want to hear about that. I want to know when the last time you seen playoff football.
Should have went to the playoffs in 2016.
That's.
Hey, you know what?
Look, enough of this. Just tell me who's next on your list. I want to see how foolish you're about to look right now.
Yo, playoff. Drum roll, please.
I'm not drum rolling for this.
You're such a hater. It's ridiculous how much of a hater you are. I'm going to go my boy over there. I'm going to stick in Philly, but I'm going to say Byron Jones. I think one of our main problems last year was defending
secondary.
Anybody. The secondary was really, really bad. I think Byron Jones, he doesn't cause a lot of turnovers, but he can man up and he can play great defense. And I like the way he plays. So I think he'll fit nicely. And we got a new defensive cornerback coach too, so I think he'll fit in nicely with us. and start a new trend.
What happened the last time the Eagles went out and paid
Oh man,
a
Oh, you
CB?
talking about Nnamdi
lot
Asamoah?
of
He
money.
fell off so bad.
with you
But
guys.
he was way older. So Byron Jones is only 27. No, he's young. So
We'll see.
when the last time you guys made the playoffs
We've had way better corners than you.
and didn't make the playoffs? That should tell you a lot. That should really tell you a lot, honestly.
But it's the thing. I think that's not a bad move, but I think that paying corners too much money is too much of a risk. I think there's too many corners that you can find
I know.
in the draft.
I was thinking of James Bradbury is another guy. We could pay him a little less. But when your team makes the playoffs, you can give opinions because you finally know what you're doing. But we will have a Super Bowl. We made the playoffs 3 years in a row, so we know what we're doing
But your
here.
quarterback hasn't won a playoff game.
I know, but he's better than your quarterback, so that should tell you something.
You are out of your mind. Sammy Darnold, Sammy Bucks. He's gonna be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. As soon as the Jets get that line together,
Yeah, I
get
see
some
it.
weapons, it's gonna be one of the better quarterbacks.
I thought you called Robbie Anderson a dog, didn't you not?
Robbie's really good. I
Yeah,
hope you sign him back. He's
really
really
good.
good.
Yeah, he's
Didn't
really
you
good.
want him on the Eagles?
I actually didn't. Never did I. I never did want him on the Eagles.
Stop
JC,
it.
did I ever want Robbie Anderson on the Eagles?
I don't think he was your first option on the Eagles.
Come on, bro. Robbie
But
Anderson, bro?
he would be a solid addition to your team though.
So
as a
this
second
next
receiver.
this next acquisition I have is one player for two teams. I think he can go in there and change their dynamic. It's Phillip Rivers
LOL.
going to the Indianapolis Colts. Melvin Gordon actually said that he is going to go there. That's where he thinks he's going to go because in Indianapolis, the current offensive coordinator, his name is Nick Sirianni, worked with Phillip Rivers for 4 years in San Diego. And I think that's a perfect fit. Indianapolis has an offensive line to protect them. They have weapons. They have a good running game. I think that's perfect for a quarterback who's reaching the end of his career,
No, he's
and
at the end.
he needs protection around him
That young
to
man is at
play
the
at a
end.
high level. And then the other team I have is the Tampa Bay Bucks, which I'm predicting he's gonna go to, simply because they have a good offensive line. They have Mike Evans. They have
Chris
Godwin. They have
O.J.
Howard. They have a
Yeah,
bunch of
They just don't
weapons.
have a running game.
And Bruce Arians, he loves veteran quarterbacks. And I think what Bruce Arians did for Carson Palmer in Arizona is the same thing I think he's going to do for Phillip Rivers in Tampa Bay.
I'm laughing at you.
You have
You're
a
not laughing
fixation
right now.
for
Nah,
Tampa
inside.
Bay.
No,
you like
he-
Tampa Bay.
He love all his
He
QBs
loves
lead the
Tampa
league in
Bay.
interceptions. Have you ever thought about that? Bums like Jameis.
I'm not gonna
Winston.
lie though.
30
Phillip
for
Rivers
30.
had a horrible line in San Diego, bro. His line was
20?
putrid.
20 for 20. What did he have? 23 touchdowns.
23
20
touchdowns,
interceptions?
20 picks.
But it's ridiculous that you just overlook the line play. Like Carson Wentz has always been blessed with a top 10 offensive line. He doesn't have to worry about that. Phillip Rivers isn't immobile
Wasn't
and he
Jameis
has a
Winston
horrible line.
blessed with a top 10 offensive line? Jameis Winston?
Nah, this year, yeah, they
Oh,
had the
30
sixth
for
best.
30. Go ahead, JC. Go ahead, J-Dog.
All right, so I'm gonna swing to the New York Jets, my team, aka Joel's team too.
I'm screaming.
So I think a move that would be a solid move if we can get him for the right price would be Chris Harris Jr. I think he's a good corner. If we can get him on a good contract, I mean, he would be by far the best corner that our team has had in a very long time. He'll add veteran leadership, and then he can help guys like Blession Austin, who was solid throughout his playing time for the Jets, and then just another good secondary player for us. I feel like Greg Williams would like to have a corner that can man up like him, and banking on the fact that I hope Blession Austin takes a step forward, I think Chris Harris Jr. would be for the right price would be a really good pickup for the Jets.
I'm really laughing at you guys because you guys really haven't made the playoffs in like a decade.
Nah,
So
I just want to
funny.
bring out this point though, is that Jameis Winston, part of the reason why he threw so many interceptions is because did you know that when Carson Palmer went to Arizona the first year under Bruce Arians, he actually had high interception numbers, and that's because Bruce Arians, the system that he runs, there's like several different route trees within one play that wide receivers can run. So you really have to be in sync, and you have to learn the playbook.
No,
Carson
I feel you.
Palmer said it. He said that if Jameis Winston is back with Tampa Bay next year, he's gonna go crazy.
I definitely, I really feel you.
Riv, wasn't there an interview kind of stating that someone in that organization was getting tired of Jameis Winston? He sounded fed up with him, and a lot of their fans are too.
I remember Joel
Ooh.
telling me to go look at the film, so I went to go search up Jameis Winston interceptions. I went to go search it up, right? And I was just watching the vid, and it was just hilarious, like how he really tried to say that just now. And I seen the video of all his interceptions he thrown, and it's like, I get the route tree thing, you got to be in sync with your receivers, but some of them are just like, what are you doing? Like,
the thing about it though is that watching the film isn't watching the tape. Because you don't know the plays that they ran.
I get it.
Like there's some plays that are supposed to work, but they just don't go their way.
Certain it don't work for certain QBs. I feel you on that one.
No, sometimes it's great plays.
We're off 30 for 30 because nobody wants to talk about him. We're off 30 for 30.
Jameis Winston, he's gonna ball next year.
That me.
And he got laser surgery
because he couldn't see.
He's gonna go crazy next year.
He really. Lazy. He tried to make it seem. Come on, 30 for 30.
He's gonna be like a top 15 QB next year.
That's tough. No, that really is tough. That's a hard list to get to. There's a lot of good QBs in this league.
Now I think if he doesn't stay with Tampa Bay, I don't know where
would he go?
Where he'd go? Maybe Indianapolis.
LOL.
The Colts.
I hope 30 for 30 finds somewhere he can go to, honestly. That's really his nickname, like 30 for 30. I hope he finds somewhere nice, though. I mean, I hope he stays with Tampa Bay. I want to see him make the playoffs because you keep talking about they're going to make the playoffs. So I want to see it for myself. Mm-hmm. On to the next. My third and final pick. Drum roll, please.
You got to do it yourself this time, my boy.
Crazy. This one's going to shock a lot of people.
Oh, my God.
Amari Cooper, my boy. I mess with Amari Cooper. He just called me the other day, told me where he was going to go.
Jets?
No. I like Amari Cooper to Arizona. Boom. That's my pickup. I like that team.
Elaborate on that.
A young QB, they got Kyler Murray. I think Amari Cooper needs a new situation. I think Dallas, they're done. I really don't see them winning anything. They have Dak as their QB. No offense to Dak, you're cool and all, but I really don't see them getting to the Super Bowl with Dak as the QB. I think with a young team like Arizona that could potentially rise and get better.
I think Arizona's a couple years away from making the playoffs.
Their division is the Rams, the Seahawks.
The Rams are garbage.
49ers.
49ers
and the 49ers. The Rams are not garbage.
The Rams are garbage. The
Rams are.
The Cardinals can be better than the Rams in like a year. Maybe
yeah,
they make moves this offseason.
Yeah.
The Rams are gonna have Jalen Ramsey and
Jared Goff.
Donald.
Anyways,
Jared Goff,
yeah. So it's like they can be.
Jared Goff isn't phenomenal, but their offensive line was one of the worst last year. That's why they didn't succeed as a team.
Kyler Murray's solid.
I mean, you say that offensive line thing, and I get it sometimes, but then there's guys like 30 for 30 who has a good offensive line and doesn't succeed.
And there's guys like Deshaun Watson who has really no line.
And then that offensive line, I get that it means a lot, but the way you say it, you seem like it's the total, like it's the number one factor.
No, but it is important though.
It is the number one factor.
It's important.
I don't think it is because you say that, but then some guys.
What do you think is more important on offense than the O-line? I want to hear this.
You win games.
Yeah, I think the quarterback.
Bro, you win games starting on the two lines, the defensive line and the offensive line.
I get what you're saying. But then why didn't 30 for 30 make the playoffs?
His defense was horrible. Not gonna lie, his defense was bad.
They were the first running defense. Their passing defense was atrocious.
JC, what did he just say? It starts on the offensive defense, and their run defense was great, and their offensive line was pretty good.
Yeah.
And what did you say? Houston's offensive line was bad, right?
It's always been bad.
And Houston's defensive line wasn't even that good. They were missing guys, and they still made the playoffs. I think it starts at the QB position.
Hold up. Back to your question. Why didn't they make the playoffs?
Why didn't they make the playoffs?
The Saints are in the division. Come on.
What?
The Saints are in their division, bro. You expect them to be first in that division?
No.
Not first, but you can still make the playoffs.
Who has the best roster in that division?
Saints.
You wait. So you mean to tell me since they can't win their division, they can't make the playoffs? That makes sense to you because I thought 6 teams make it.
6 teams do make it, but if you don't get that first seed, then it's way harder.
I mean, a lot of teams didn't get the first seed. 5 other teams didn't get the first seed.
The Eagles, even with a great offensive line, would have not made the playoffs if it wasn't for the division they're in.
That's literally my whole point. I don't think your offensive line should be is the number one thing on offense. I think it really starts at the QB. You have to start looking at some of these QBs and really like being honest about it. Are they good or are they not?
QBs can't be successful without a great offensive line. There are some outliers.
QBs can't be successful without a great offensive line.
No, there are some outliers like Russell Wilson, once in a generation type of talent who can scramble around. Deshaun Watson,
so then your point,
who can scramble
your point
around.
is invalid Because you just said QBs can't be successful, and then you went and named QBs that are successful.
Those are 2 out of fucking like 35 QBs in the NFL.
How was Kyler Murray's line as a rookie? His line was pretty shitty.
The problem with the thing about their system is that Kyler Murray gets the ball out really quick on screens. he gets the ball out on screens, bro, a lot, and they go like 4 out. So it's a whole different system.
I get it. But I just hear a lot of excuses.
Okay, so look, Jared Goff last year threw over 30 touchdowns, one of the better offensive lines. This year,
the year before last year, you mean? The year before last year?
No, last year. They made the Super Bowl last year.
No.
Yeah, they did. They played the Patriots.
You're going off year. I'm thinking of last season. Last season would be last year.
So he threw over 30 touchdowns, one of the better offensive lines. Then Roger Saffold, their right guard, goes to Tennessee. Tennessee's line gets better. The Rams' line is filled with rookies and Andrew Whitworth. And then their line falls off. Their bottom 20 and Andrew Goff is struggling. And Todd Gurley isn't the same.
You just called him Andrew Goff.
No, I said Jared Goff.
No, you said Andrew Goff.
Oh, if I did, I did. And then Todd Gurley's struggling too. And Todd Gurley's struggling because there's no line. The same reason why Bell, he gets hit before he could even gain a yard because the Jets' offensive line is bad.
Todd Gurley's been
You need a good offensive
too.
line.
Todd Gurley's been injured, man.
So can you explain to me why you said Houston's offensive line is bad?
It's not that good.
Can you explain to me why Deshaun Watson succeeds? Because he's that great, right?
He's a mobile quarterback.
And then
he's a great quarterback.
Why 30 for 30?
Is Patrick Mahomes' line that good?
Yeah.
Or is it in the middle of the pack line?
It's good.
I think last year it wasn't that well.
The difference between Houston is that
that's
part of the reason.
No, hold on. Before you even continue, I can speak for it myself. We have a top 5 offensive line.
We had a top 2 offensive line.
Exactly. But because
y'all were number 1 for a while.
Yeah, but then
in terms of offensive line,
yeah, we had one of the best, and we still struggled. Why we struggled? Because the receivers couldn't get over. So that offensive line, in reality, it means a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it doesn't mean it means a lot, but it's more factors to it because you can have a great offensive line, but if you don't have receivers to get open, you're stuck there, and your offense is stagnant.
Or
if you don't have running backs in there to get yards, be in the backfield catching passes, your offense is stagnant. Yeah. Or if you have guys getting injured and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that an offensive line isn't important. It's definitely important. I just think there's other factors that you could look at for certain teams that are more important. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying an offensive line is not important.
The Eagles struggled more because their defense was getting torched. Because Minnesota went in and they didn't like Kirk Cousins have a crazy career game on you guys on your secondary.
Yeah, in week 6.
Yeah, so I don't think it was your receivers that game, was it? Or it was your defense?
I mean,
back to your Houston point. One, there's a difference between a quarterback like Deshaun Watson who can scramble around and buy time. That's different. And they actually traded like a haul of picks for Laramie Tunsil. So,
he's really good.
And he protected his blind side, a
really
Pro Bowler.
Good.
He is
so
good.
They solidified that part of the line, which is probably the most important part because that's Deshaun Watson's blind side.
I mean, I get that.
Because that's the most important part because if you
but you can
Watson,
still have a great offensive line and still struggle. On offense and still struggle. So I don't think offensive line should be the number.
Obviously, you can struggle on offense, but the thing is that you need a great offensive line or at least an average offensive line to be functional in the NFL. It's really difficult to not function.
I mean, Riv, look at it like this. So you have a line but no receivers, bad. But you have no line and receivers, bad. I mean,
I think I would rather have no line and receivers. It also depends on the QB.
You know why I'd rather have a line because it opens up the run game too.
If you have a good running back.
Rim, do you know the scheme?
Because Tampa Bay, I'm gonna keep going back to Tampa
Ronald
Bay.
Jones.
Tampa Bay has a good O-line, right?
Yeah,
but they don't have a run game, so Jameis Winston has to sling it 40 times a game.
That's what I'm saying. They have no run game. We had an O-line and we didn't have no run game until Miles Sanders got going until we got Jordan Howard or until he was healthy to play.
Yeah,
O-line it's important, but I don't think it should always be number one depending on what team. Because you can have a great O-line, but you can still have a bad QB back there.
Okay, so tell me this: do you know the system that Seattle runs or no?
Nah,
you don't. Okay,
I know Russell Wilson always has to scramble.
What do they do the best out of any team in the NFL?
Screen passes.
Yeah.
No, the play action.
That too.
Play action.
They have a
and
running
what does the play action allow? It allows Russell Wilson to buy time. You barely see Seattle dropping back a bunch of times a game. If you do, Russell Wilson gets destroyed, and they get blown out when he has to do that.
Yes.
It goes to show you that they have a bad offensive line, but they
They have
mirror
a great quarterback.
No, but they mirror their bad offensive line
If
by
you-
running
if-
certain schemes.
Okay, no. Okay, no. They run
So
certain
then that
schemes
comes
because
down to coaching. Then
it comes down to coaching, but it also comes down to QB because you can't put any QB back there and he do the same.
No,
Jameis Winston
obviously,
can't.
I know he can't.
He can't.
He
Jameis
can't.
Winston is
You can't throw
he's more
Jared
mobile
Goff.
than you think.
He can't
Jameis
throw. You
Winston?
can't throw Jared Goff in that and tell Jared Goff do what Russell Wilson do. You can't.
Jameis Winston's mobile.
I mean,
I
he's
heard
not
he was
Russell
slow.
Wilson
I heard he was
mobile, but he's-
unathletic.
Nah, he's not unathletic.
Oh.
He's not Russell Wilson. Nobody's Russell
Yeah, he's
Wilson.
not Russell
But
Wilson.
Russell
no.
Wilson's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. You
Facts.
can't just take him and be like, oh, he didn't have a good offensive line, therefore QBs don't really need an offensive line to succeed.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
Obviously, you're going to like one extreme to another. You're saying Russell Wilson.
I didn't even say Russell Wilson.
No, but look,
You
this
said
is
Russell
the
Wilson.
point that you made. You said
say Russell.
there are QBs that succeed without having a great offensive line, and you named great QBs, and you're like, yeah, but if you have a great offensive line but a bad quarterback, you won't be successful. You're using two extremes. Like you're using the better and the worst.
No. This is why you have that hat on and why you're a Jets fan. I said there are certain situations where you can have a great offensive line, but you could still not succeed. I don't think every team that
Hence
should
Philly.
be the number. Yeah, I don't think every team that should be the number one outlier. I think you can focus on other stuff.
So you're
That's
saying
all
a
I
solid
said.
line and great receivers is a better combination.
I would rather have that. I'm speaking from experience. We have a great offensive line, and we have I don't even know what to call them, like receivers, I guess.
practice
Yeah.
squad members.
I'm gonna
Greg
finish. I'm
Ward,
gonna finish
Josh
it off
Perkins,
at. I'm
like-
gonna finish it off at this. There's a reason why the teams that finish with the better offensive lines in the NFL, the top 5, make the playoffs year in and year out.
True.
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's true.
And you'll see why.
didn't make
and
it.
you'll see why the bottom 20 offensive lines usually don't make the playoffs.
Dallas didn't make it.
We'll check the ranking after
Houston
this.
made it.
We'll check the ranking after this. We'll check the ranking.
Like
After the show, we'll check the ranking.
Who's your third free agent? Who's your third free agent?
He just named it.
I
Didn't
named
you?
No, I'm you.
Talk
Who's
about
your
you.
third free agent?
Oh no, I picked Phillip Rivers for the Bucks and
Okay.
Chargers and,
Okay.
and Colts.
I'm gonna make this short and sweet. My third free agent is Tom Brady. I think he should stay with the New England Patriots. Go for one more title run with them. I think they need to get him a receiver, but if you get him a receiver with that good defense, I think that he has enough in the tank to get you to maybe one last run. But we'll see.